This is the July 7th, 2025 meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals. I understand that Woody's recusing himself this evening.
On the hearing, but we still have minutes and things.
Right, on this first hearing. So for the first hearing, we are a three-member board with Lee, Matt, and myself. Charlie is awaiting reappointment. So I'll call this meeting to order. The first piece of business we have is a new hearing for a special permit at 121 Jerusalem Road. And Adam, that's you?
Formally recuse myself of the 15th.
All right.
I don't see it. Maybe your quick overview, please.
Yeah, I think there's one threshold issue that we need to deal with, and I'm sure you're aware of it.
That's why I'm here.
Okay. Although the plot plan is not clear on, or the site plan is not clear on where the lot lines are, according to the deed that we got with the application, there is a deed restriction on a portion of this lot, which, given the limited spaces, appears to be where the garage is proposed to be. Is that right?
That is correct.
Okay, so,
Just be clear, so that you have a record. My name is Adam Brodsky. I'm a local attorney and represent the applicants, Harry Judd and Peter Mallon. And some of these questions can be answered by Carmen Hudson, our professional engineer, who is here, as well as John Tiriaki, our architect. But you're correct. The garage is proposed to be located on a lot which is acquired by the clients from the town in 2020. And this came to light after the application was filed with the board. The clients have owned this property for, I believe, decades. At some point in time, they learned that their existing driveway and a retaining wall were located on actually property owned by the town. And to resolve that encroachment, the town divided its lot, conveyed a portion to the clients. And I don't know if Carmen has this particular plan available to show you. She can show you exactly where that dividing line is. The dividing line is through the middle, if I recall correctly, of the garage. And so the unusual thing, and I can try and show you again, Carmen may have a copy of that particular plan showing this. The unusual thing is, unbeknownst to the client, town placed land use restrictions in the deed on the lot that was conveyed. Okay. We were hired to look into the matter. We've reached out to various people in the town, including the building attorney who handled this, who's from the North Shore, happens to be retired. And we don't understand why this was done. And so we're in the process of investigating it. But it really is an issue having to do with property rights and not zoning bylaw. We understand that we're going to ultimately have to resolve this issue if we're ever going to get a building permit. But the clients would, the board so like to present on the application. Again, the board's special permit could be firstly conditioned on this, but we're not going to get a building permit unless we can resolve the land use restrictions. We are asking the board, since it's a fairly straightforward special permit application, for an attached garage, just a non-conforming dwelling, consider entertaining the application.
well, I'm reluctant to hear an application on a special permit where there's certainly a contrary interest of the town involved. And my preference would be to have that piece resolved before we consider the special permit, but I'm one person. Steve, what do you think?
I agree. I mean, I assume the deed restriction is the one right on the front of the capital letter.
Like in capital letters.
Yeah, that one, and full capital letter. Yes, I think that issue would have to be resolved.
Matt?
Yeah, I would agree as well. I think
Pretty clear.
it seemed very clear to me when I looked at the deed and then that it was kind of a non-starter to open the hearing.
So, in my perspective, I often have to deal with land use issues in relations to zoning permit applications. For example, I need an access easement. I equate that as something similar. It is going to be something that we need to overcome, unrelated to zoning. I wish I had more information. We've tried very hard to find someone who knows why this was put in this deed. It's unusual, to say the least, but it exists, and we're not challenging the validity. Wonderful, so you're not going to application.
Would you be willing to withdraw without prejudice?
Without prejudice. I know that Mr. Mallon, I believe Mr. Mallon is online. I just want to ask for permission to.
Sure.
Request for withdrawal.
Hmm?
If I might.
Yeah, feel free. You can step out and call if you want or whatever. We'll wait.
All right, thank you. Sorry, continue for a brief or do a brief recess and I'll get some direction.
Sure. Yeah, but they're not gonna get it straightened out. They're just a withdraw without prejudice. That's when they got it clean. The other. We only have a 25-foot height restriction on garages. Thanks. Julia, you have a copy of the bylaws? Oh, wait a minute, Matt's good, Matt's got.
Actually, but this is July 2024, so this wouldn't have the new supplements in it, right?
No, not from special.
Let's see. Here, just move of the state.
Yeah, it just got.
We should be getting some hard copies made.
Yeah.
Next month.
Is it online already?
I don't know if they were able to put one before the 4th of July. I think they were online.
Yeah, I talked to Lisa in the clerks. They weren't online. That was maybe last week.
Okay,
You request a withdrawal of the application without prejudice.
okay. Also, I would suggest that before the application comes back again, check on the garage height,
Excuse me,
garage height.
Roger, thank you. John's here. I'm sure he could answer that question, but.
Thank you. So all we need to. But we need to move to accept.
Yeah.
The applicant has asked to withdraw the application without prejudice.
To accept the applicant withdraw without receipt.
Seconded.
All right, all in favor? Matt Watkins,
Aye.
Lee Darf,
Aye.
Dave McMorris, aye. Thank you.
And I'm just looking Saturday, like there's summer wear, socks, no sock. A little baby sock.
All right. Also, on our agenda for tonight is the we have no closed hearings to deliberate. We do have meeting minutes of June 9th to review and approve. And then we need to talk about meeting dates. Adam,
Yeah, I was just relooking at them. I don't think I had any real substantive or even really any changes on the meeting minutes.
I don't have any changes, proposed changes.
nor do I. So I would move that we accept the June 9th, 2025 meeting minutes as drafted.
Second it.
All in favor, Matt Watkins,
Aye.
Lee Darst,
Aye.
Dave McMorris, aye. All right, that piece of business is done. So, oh, I'm sorry, Woody Chidick.
One thing, Dave, I just, now that we've approved the minutes, I do have a concern about sign overkill up there. I think who respects the sign that's nearest the highway is in violation of our section 6. First of all, our bylaw refers to the fact that signs have to be on the premises. And the golf, whatever it's called, tavern is not on the same premises as is Stowe. Those are two different lots and their signage has to be different. But separately, the sign size that has the golf tavern and Stowe, and then the coming soon.
Big attractions, yeah.
And the other restaurant, I think exceed the square footage allowed. And I would be cautious about giving any encouragement to new tenants who think that because they're a tenant, they can just add on to the existing size. If the existing size is already in violation, I don't see how the tenant, any new tenant can utilize a sign on that property. So I would, which isn't fair, I know, but I think something has to be done.
That's basically the golf tavern size.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, there's,
I think there's a 40-foot, isn't there, square foot or something like that?
yeah, well, there's, right now, there's 3 lots there. There used to just be 1 lot, now it's 3. So I don't know what the frontages are for each of those 3 lots. I know the one in the middle, just looking at the assessor's plan, is pretty narrow. It's where the entrance is from the street. There's one little sign there now, which I think is for Stop and Shop. But there's one small Stop and Shop sign on the first big lot, then a sign on the second lot, and then the huge sign on the third lot, which is probably oversized and excessive. And there is also frontage on Sawyer Street.
Yeah, the lots are going to go to 380, which is this corner of Sawyer Street. 390, which is the center lot where the new building was, and then the Stop and Shop, which is 400. Just that's my understanding.
And I think, they've cut the lots up, designated the lots. And the premises that are on each lot don't necessarily correspond with the premises that are on each sign.
And also, Dave, I believe and I can't remember whether it's 5.3 or something, supplemental regulations. If you're on a corner lot, you may have two frontages, but only one can be used from a signage standpoint. The bylaw says only one of those two can be used. And I don't, it's not coming to me, but I think it's probably under 5.4 somewhere.
Okay,
But I would urge you to kind of look at that, because it would be nice, yes, if you could have two frontages and double the allowed, but
no,
they've already thought, whoever drafted this years ago. already
thought that up already?
through.
all right. But it's time to look at that, I think. So last issue is meetings for the rest of the foreseeable future. I like this hybrid form. And the feedback I've gotten from people who participated in the meetings on Zoom, like it. I like having us, as many of us in person together, because I think it helps with our thought processes and discussions. Does anyone feel differently? Good. So why don't we plan the first Monday of each month for a hybrid meeting? Does that work?
Schedule, I can put it on the board.
Of course, it will, if there are any early month holidays, that will be a Monday issue, but we can deal with that then.
Like Labor Day.
Yeah.
Uh,
Probably.
Julie, what do we have for next month?
For agenda items, two special permit applications for 30 Beach Street and 107 Atlantic Ave.
Okay.
Proposed meeting dates on the. These have already passed.
All right, so are we gonna run into Labor Day, or is Labor Day on the first?
On the first,
Wow,
so it skips to the second week.
What about, okay, and Tuesday is voting, so Monday we're okay on the elections side of it, right?
Yes, yeah, so I looked and there were no major holidays or election days.
all right, so let's follow that schedule that Julia has up on the screen. So, anyone else have any business they want to talk about? Before we close? Or adjourn? All right, can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second,
All those in favor? Woody Chidick,
aye.
Matt Watkins,
Aye.
Lee Dawes,
Darcy, aye.
Dave McMorris, aye. Done.